Hello my loves, Tony here from TL Yarn Crafts with a super fun and free pattern. Now if you're tired of making the same crochet projects over and over again, say hello to the Marlowe hat and scarf. Modern, sleek, and sophisticated, these two pieces elevate the idea of crochet accessories, and they make perfect gifts for holidays and birthdays. Even crochet beginners can make these two pieces. Now let's get started. While crocheting along with me, pull up the free Marlowe hat and scarf pattern on my blog, tlycblog.com. If you prefer, you can get an ad-free printable version of the pattern for just $7.50 from my website, tlyarncrafts.com. Links to both resources are in the description. Now, if you're excited to make the Marlowe hat and scarf with me today, please like this video and subscribe to my channel for even more free crochet patterns, product reviews, and tutorials. Now let's talk materials. To make the Marlowe hat and scarf, you'll need category 4 worsted weight yarn. I made my set in Lion Brand's Woolies. You'll need 6 total skeins of Woolies to make your hat and scarf. You'll also need 3 crochet hooks, a 4mm, 5mm, and 6mm hook. Scissors, a tapestry needle, and a pom-pom maker are also required. I made a yarn pom-pom for my original hat, but I'll be using this cute faux fur pom-pom that I found in my local craft store for this tutorial. Check below in the description for a video on making perfect yarn pom-poms. Now let's get stitching. We'll start our tutorial with the scarf. So with our 6mm crochet hook, we're going to grab our yarn, make a slip knot, and start by chaining 40. So slip knots on my hook, I'll yarn over my hook and pull through for 1 chain. Here's 2, 3, 4, and repeat that until I have 40. From here, I want to find the second chain for my hook. So this loop on my hook does not count as a chain. Here's my first chain and my second chain. In that second chain from the hook, I'm just inserting my hook under one of the loops of that chain. You can go under 2 loops, whatever you prefer. I'm going to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 for my first single crochet. I can now go to my next chain. So this is the one I just worked in, and this is my next chain, and place a single crochet there as well. And I'm going to single crochet in each chain down the line, and when I'm done, I should have 39 single crochet stitches. At the end of row 1, here's our single crochet stitches. For row 2, we're going to start with the chain 1 and turn our work, and we're going to single crochet in each stitch across. So here's my chain. At the base of my chain is my first single crochet, and I'm going to place that first stitch right here. So we're single crocheting in each stitch across, so we should still end up with 39 stitches. And that finishes row 2. For row 3, we'll start with the chain 4, and that chain 4 counts as our first double crochet plus a chain 1. So we're going to turn our work. We're going to skip the single crochet at the base of our chain, as well as the next single crochet. In the following single crochet, which is right here, we're going to place a double crochet. Yarn over, pull up a loop in the stitch, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, and through 2 again for a double crochet. We're going to follow that with a chain 1. We're going to skip the next stitch, double crochet in the following stitch. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next. And we're going to repeat that across the row. So if you're keeping count, at this point you should have 40 double crochet. Here's how we'll count it. So that chain 4 counts as a double crochet plus a chain 1. So we'll count that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and this last one makes 20. For our next row, we'll begin with a chain 1 and turn our work. So in this row, we're meant to single crochet in each stitch and chain across the row. So that means we'll single crochet in this first double crochet and then single crochet into this chain space. Single in the double, single in the space, and so on. So I've done my chain 1. I'm finding my double crochet there at the base of my chain, and I'm going to single crochet into that stitch. And then I'm going to put my hook into this space and single crochet in the space, single in the double, and single in the space. And we'll repeat this across, and it's going to reestablish our 39 single crochet stitches. So here at the end of our row, we're going to single crochet into this space, and we're going to find the third chain, 1, 2, 3, and single crochet in that third chain of our turning chain. So if you were to give this a count, you should be back at 39. For row 5, we're going to repeat row 3. So that starts with a chain 4, turn our work, skip the single crochet at the base of the chain and the following single crochet, double crochet in the following single crochet. So we're going right back into that mesh pattern. So remember, we chain 1, skip 1, double in the next, chain 1, skip 1, double in the next, and we'll repeat that across. Here for row 6, we'll begin with a chain 1, turn our work, and we're going to repeat row 4, which started with a single crochet in this first double crochet and a single crochet in the next chain space, single in the double, single in the space, and we'll repeat that across. These are rows 1 through 6 so far. Row 7 is a repeat of row 2, which is just a chain 1, we'll turn our work, and we'll single crochet in each stitch across. So now we have rows 1 through 7 so far. At this point, I want you to note that the transition from the row we just completed to the next row will result in losing a stitch. This is part of the design and it is done on purpose. Just be sure to pay close attention to your stitch counts from here. Here in row 8, we'll begin with a chain 2, and that chain 2 counts as our first half double crochet. We're going to turn our work. So we're going to skip this first single crochet at the base of our chain. We're also going to skip the next single crochet. In the single crochet after that, which is right here between my thumbs, we're going to do our cluster. And our cluster goes as follows: half double crochet 1, chain 1, and another half double crochet, all in the same stitch. So for a half double crochet, we yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and that's a half double crochet. We'll follow with a chain 1, and another half double crochet goes into that same stitch, just like that. So that is our cluster. From here, we're going to skip the next stitch and place a cluster in the following stitch. Remember, it's a half double crochet, chain 1, and another half double crochet. And we're going to repeat that across. Skip the next stitch, cluster in the following stitch. Half double, chain 1, half double again. Here at the end of my row, I have 2 stitches left. I'm going to skip this next stitch, and in the last stitch, I'm going to place a half double crochet. And that completes row 8. Row 9 starts our repeat for the body of our scarf. So we're going to begin with a chain 2 and turn our work. And we're going to find the next cluster. So this was the half double crochet, the chain space behind it, and the following half double crochet. We're going to place a cluster in that chain 1 space. So going right between those half double crochet stitches, we'll do a cluster. And we're going to do that all the way across, just placing a cluster into the chain 1 space of the next cluster. So that's a half double, chain 1, and another half double. Find the chain 1 space of the next cluster, half double, chain 1, half double again. And we're going to do that all the way across until we get to our turning chain. So we just worked into our last cluster. All we have left is our chain 2 here. So we're going to place a half double crochet in the second chain of our chain 2. Then we can chain 2 and turn to begin row 10. So basically the body of your shawl is going to be repeating row 9 until you have 164 total rows. So we'll begin row 10 together, and then I'll talk to you a bit about how to keep count when you're working your body rows. So for now, I'm just placing clusters into my chain 1 spaces. And here at my turning chain, I'm going to find the second chain and place a half double crochet. As you can see, my project is starting to bow out a little bit here. That is normal. We're going to end up blocking our project, so we're going to get it nice and straight down the line. But we're just going to continue with these cluster rows until we have 164 total rows. So that includes our rows here at the bottom and all of the rows that we're going to add in the body. As you're working up the body, since you have so many rows to do, I would recommend that you put a locking stitch marker maybe every 10 rows so you don't have to count your rows every time you want to check and see your progress. So continue on. I'm going to make a much smaller sample, so I'll just do a few more rows in my body here, and then I'll show you how to do the finish off those last few rows on the opposite end of your scarf. So I'm going to stop my sample here, but like I was saying before, you're going to get this bowing. And this is normal, so don't worry about that at all. We're going to block it, and with this yarn, especially since it has some wool in it, it's got a good bit of stretch. So when we block it, we're going to get exactly what we need out of this. So now we can pretend like we're transitioning from row 164 to 165. Now note that the transition between these two rows will result in adding back the stitch that we lost when we transitioned in row 8. For this row, which is row 165, we're going to begin with a chain 1 and we're going to turn our work. So to begin this row, we're going to single crochet in the half double crochet that is right here at the base of our chain. Single crochet into that stitch. Next, we're going to single crochet into the space before the next cluster. So this is the next cluster, and this is the space. This is the half double crochet we just worked into. We're going to go into this space right here and place a single crochet. Now from here, we're going to single crochet in each half double crochet stitch across, skipping the chain spaces. So here's a half double crochet here. We're going to single in that stitch, skip this space, single in the next stitch. Here's the next cluster, single in the stitch, skip the space, single in the next stitch. Next cluster, single in the stitch, skip the space, single in the next stitch. And we're going to repeat that across. So I've got one cluster and my turning chain left. So I'm going to single crochet in each half double crochet of that cluster and place my last single crochet in the second chain of that turning chain. So at this point, you should be back to 39 single crochets. I'm going to take a little break to count and make sure I'm in the right place. So this is my first single crochet right here. So that's 1. I'm just going to count the V's here at the top. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and one more makes 9. So we're back at 39 stitches. So for our next 3 rows, we're going to repeat rows 2, 3, and 4. That was rows 166 through 168. Rows 169 and 170 are repeats of row 3 and 4. So then our very last row of our scarf is a chain 1 and single crochet across. So now that we're done with that final row, we can fasten off. So leaving a long enough loop with a long tail, because we'll weave in that tail, and just pull that loop up and out of our work. Now we'll want to grab our tapestry needle and weave in this end. Thankfully, we have a bunch of solid stitches here at the top. So I'm just going to kind of thread my needle down to this row and work under several loops of the back of these stitches. Now I can cut off that tail. and weave in the end that's at the beginning of my work as well. So this is what I have, and essentially this is what your scarf will look like as well. That bowing does get addressed a bit by adding stitching to the beginning and the end of our scarf. So now I'm going to show you how to block. Of course yours is larger than mine, but I'm going to block my little sample just to give you a feel for what you should be looking for. I've got all of my blocking supplies here. So I have knit blockers, I have rust-proof T-pins, I have blocking boards, and I have my garment steamer. So I'm going to turn my garment steamer on. Once that's solid, I'll know that my steamer is ready, and I'll set up my blocking boards. So I block with the right side facing down. So I'm going to kind of use this natural edge down here as my straight edge. So that's what's going to be as wide as my project goes. And when it comes to blocking, you really want to coax the yarn, not push the yarn. So you want to kind of coax it where you want it to go, but ultimately you don't want to have to pull it too much. So I'm happy with this. I've got nice clean edges. It's going to line up my cluster area with my beginning area. So I'm happy with this. Just get it as close to right angles on those edges as you can. Now I have my steamer. It's ready because this light is solid. So I'm just gonna move this stuff out the way. Gonna press my trigger here. Got steam coming out, and I'm gonna go over my project until it's damp. So my project is nice and damp now. So the blocking process has begun. I'm going to sit this under a fan until it's completely dry, and then I can take my pins out. All right, it's all dry, so let's take the pins out. So now we have these beautiful clean corners on our scarf. Oh, it turned out so cute, even this little sample. I really hope you enjoyed making this. Now let's move on to make our Marlowe hat. We're going to start our hat working from the bottom up, beginning with the brim. So you want to take your smaller hook, your 4mm crochet hook, and your yarn, start with a slip knot, and we're going to chain 11. Yarn over, pull up a loop for 1, there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So now we want to find the second chain from the hook. The loop on our hook does not count. Next chain is the first, so here is the second. Working under, I'm just going to go under one loop of that chain. You can go under this front loop. You can go under the back bump. Whatever floats your boat, I'm just going to go under one loop of that chain and complete a single crochet. And I'm going to do that for each chain down the line, and I'll end up with 10 single crochets. So that was 3, here's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now we want to chain 1 and turn our work, and we'll want to find the back loop of our stitches. So if we look at the top of our stitches, we've got 2 loops. So this is our next stitch, and my needle is currently under both loops. Here we have the front loop, which is the loop that's closest to you. Right behind it is the back loop, which is the one that's furthest from you. We want to single crochet in that back loop only for each stitch across. So I'm going to insert my hook only into that back loop and complete a single crochet. And this is what's going to give us our ribbed look, working only in the back loop. So that's 3. Here's 4, 5, 6, 7, here's 8, 9, and 10. And we'll want to repeat that until we have 81 total rows. So far we have 2 rows. I'm going to chain 1, turn my work, finding just the back loop of that first single crochet. We're going to work in the back loop across, doing single crochet stitches to create our ribbing. Chain 1, turn the work, working just in the back loops. And again, we'll repeat this until we have 81 total rows. So that was my 81st row. I have all of my ribbing complete. At this point, I'm going to chain 1, I'm going to turn my work, and I'm going to bring the end of my row to meet my working row. So I'm going to work in the back loop of my working row and under a stitch of my first row, and I'm going to complete a single crochet to join. And I'm going to do that all the way down the line. So now my join is complete, and I'm going to rotate to work along the row ends, which are here. So this is the back of my hat, and I'm going to work along the row ends. Before I do that, I need to switch hooks. So here I had a 4mm, and now I'm going to switch to my 5mm hook. Pop my hook in. I'm going to start with a chain 2, which does not count as my first stitch, and I'm going to double crochet in the end of each row along here. So my first row is here. I'm going to pop a double crochet into the end of that row. The next row is right here, so I'm going to pop a double crochet into the end of that row. Double crochet in the next row and the following. And I'm going to repeat that all the way around. So I should end up with 81 double crochet stitches. I finished my double crochets around. For my slip stitch join, I'm not going to work in this starting chain 2. Instead, I'm going to go to the first double crochet of the round, which is right here. I'm going to insert my hook under the top 2 loops of that stitch, yarn over, and pull through for a slip stitch. I've completed my first row, and now I can move on to row 2, which starts with a chain 2. Again, that does not count as a double crochet. So I joined in this first double crochet here. I'm going to place a double crochet in that stitch. Now starting with the next stitch, I'm going to front post double crochet 4. So I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook from front to back to front around the post of that stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, 3 loops on my hook. Now I can complete my double crochet as normal. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's the first of my front post double crochet. Now I have 3 more to do. Here's the second, the third, and the fourth. So I've got 4 front post double crochet here. Now I want to back post double crochet each of the next 4 stitches. So here's 1, 2, 3, and 4. For my back post double crochet, I start with a yarn over. I'm going to bring my hook from back to front to back around the post of that stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop. I've got 3 loops on my hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So there's 1. Here's 2. Here's 3. And 4. Oop. There it is. So there are my 4 back post double crochets. So we started with 4 fronts, now we've got 4 backs. So we're going to repeat that around. So I've got front post 4 here. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. and then back post 4. Here's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're going to repeat that around 4 fronts and 4 backs. Join me when you get to the end of the row. So I just finished my last 4 back post double crochet for this row, and now I'm ready to join. Again, for our join, we're going to skip that starting chain 2 and we're going to join in the first double crochet of the row. So inserting my hook under both loops of that double crochet, I'm going to yarn over and pull through for a slip stitch. Now, one quick tip I'm going to give you is as you continue on, it's going to get a little tricky to read this back spine, so you might have trouble understanding exactly how many rows you have. So to help me, and this might help you as well, I like to use locking stitch markers. So what I'm going to do is pop a locking stitch marker around the chain 2 of my rows. Since the chain 2s don't count as anything, these markers won't get in the way. So I'm just going to pop some markers around those chain 2s so I know for sure that I only have 2 rows completed in the body of my hat. Now to move on to our next row, we need to turn our work, which we haven't done yet. So we're going to start with a chain 2 and we're going to turn our work. And now we can jump right back into our post stitch pattern. So we want to front post double crochet around these first 4 stitches. So we're going from front to back to front around the stitch, yarn over, pull up the loop, and complete the double crochet. There's 1, here's 2, here's 3, and 4. And we're going to back post double crochet around these 4 stitches. So from back to back around the stitch, yarn over, pull up the loop, and complete the double crochet. There's 1, here's 2, here's 3, and 4. Front 4, and back 4. So I just finished this row. I've got my 4 back post double crochet here. I'm going to join in the first double crochet of the round and turn my work. Now before I continue on, I'm going to place my marker just like this around that chain 2. So from here, we're going to continue working in our front post 4, back post 4 pattern until we have 16 total rows. That's why I wanted to use the markers, because it's going to be a lot easier for me to count 16 markers than it is to try to fish out my rows in these post stitches. So once you get to your 16 rows, we're going to get into the crown shaping. Just make sure that you turn your work after each row. So you should always be starting on a front post 4. So continue on until you have 16 total rows, then meet me back here and we'll shape the crown of our hat. So I continued working on my hat, and based on my stitch markers, I have all 16 of my rows. So I'm going to go ahead and pop those out, and then we can move on to row 17. Row 17 begins on the wrong side of our work, so I'm going to do my chain 2 and turn. To begin, we'll start with a double crochet in the same stitch as the join. And now we want to front post double crochet 4. So here's 1, here's 2, here's 3, and 4. Now for our back post, we're going to add a decrease here. So we want to back post double crochet 1, and then we're going to back post double crochet 2 together over these 2 stitches. So we're going to start with a yarn over, pull up a loop in the post of the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull up a loop around the next stitch. Oh, here we go. Oh, come on. And then yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through all 3 of these remaining loops. So that's our decrease. Don't worry, we'll do that again. Then we'll back post double crochet around the next stitch. So we've taken 4 stitches and turned them into 3. So we're going to repeat that around. So front post double crochet the next 4. Here's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So here we're going to back post double crochet 1, then back post double crochet 2 together over these next 2 stitches. So here's 1 and 2. And then back post double crochet around the next stitch. Let's do that one more time together. So front post double crochet 4. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Back post double crochet 1, back post double crochet 2 together. Let's talk it through. Yarn over, pull up a loop around the post of the next stitch. You've got 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull up a loop around the post of the next stitch. Yarn over, pull through 2. 3 loops left on the hook. Yarn over, pull through all 3. Follow that with a back post double crochet in the next stitch. So repeat that around and join me back here for our next round. We'll begin round 18 with a double crochet in the same stitch as the join, and then we'll front post double crochet 3. So remember that we did a decrease here, so we're gonna front post double crochet around this stitch, and then we're gonna make sure we go all the way around that decrease. So from front to back to front around that stitch to complete the double crochet. So we have 3 front post double crochet here. Next we're going to back post double crochet 1, and then we've got our back post decrease. So remember that's yarn over, pull up a loop in the first stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull up a loop in the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, 3 loops left on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. Follow that with a back post double crochet 1. Front post double crochet 3 here. Here's 1. 1 goes around that decrease, and 1 in the following stitch. And then back post double crochet 1, back post double crochet 2 together, and back post double crochet 1 again. So we'll repeat that around. Front post double crochet 3, back post double crochet 1, decrease, back post double crochet 1 again. Here in round 19, we start with a double crochet in the same stitch as the join. We're going to front post double crochet 3. So here's 1, here's 2, and 3. And then we're going to back post double crochet 3 together. Here's how we do that. Yarn over, pull up a loop in the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull up a loop in the next stitch. Don't give me trouble. Then yarn over, pull through 2. And we'll do that one more time. Yarn over, pull up a loop in the next stitch, and then yarn over, pull through 2. So now we have 4 loops on our hook. We'll yarn over, pull through all 4. So that has now turned 3 stitches into 1 stitch. Front post double crochet 3. There's 1, 2, and 3. Back post double crochet 3 together. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull up a loop in the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull up a loop in the third stitch, yarn over, pull through 2. 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 4. So we're going to repeat that around. Front post double crochet 3, back post double crochet 3 together. Repeat that around and then join me for the next round. Just 2 more rows to go here. For 20, we're going to start with a double crochet in the same stitch as the join. We're going to front post double crochet 1. So remember, this is just 1 stitch. So we're going to go all the way around this 3 together and make it a front post double crochet. And we're going to follow that with a back post 3 together over these 3 stitches. So remember, we yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull up a loop around that 3rd stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 4. One more time together. For this front post double crochet, make sure you get around the entire stitch. So I'm starting over here. There's kind of an obvious hole here and an obvious hole on the other side. And that's exactly where I'm coming up to complete my front post double crochet. And then back post double crochet 3 together over the next 3 stitches. And we'll repeat that around, and then we'll do the final round of our hat. So we'll start our last round with a chain 2, turn, and as always, double crochet in the same stitch as the join. So for this final round, it's going to be the easiest one. We're just going to front post double crochet 1, so make sure you get all the way around this stitch, and back post double crochet 1. Front post 1, and back post 1. And this is just cleaning up the edge so when we cinch our hat together, it's not too bulky at the top. So that's it for the actual stitching of our hat. It's looking so good, so cute. This ribbing, like these clean lines, can't get over it. So cute. Okay, so we'll want to fasten off, leaving a pretty long tail because we'll use that tail to cinch up the top of our hat. So we're just going to pull that loop up and out of our work, grab a tapestry needle, and thread that tail onto the tapestry needle. Now I just like to go through the back loops, the inside loops here to cinch up the top of my hat. So beginning right here, I'm just going to insert my needle into this back loop of this stitch and pull through. Back loop, and pull through. And I'll do that for each stitch around, and there are 21 stitches. And to finish it up, I do want to tie a small knot just to make sure this won't come out. So I'm just going to go under a few stitches in through the middle and wrap it around my working yarn. And that creates a pretty good knot. I think I'm going to double knot it just to be safe. And then to be even more safe, I'm going to actually weave in this end. I'm not going to cut it at the knot. So I'm just going to go through the middle, flip my hat inside out, and weave in this end. Doesn't have to be pretty, it just needs to be weaved in. That's good. While I'm here, I'm going to weave in my other end as well. So you can easily just be done with your hat at this point, right? It's super cute, unisex. It's going to look great on anybody. I personally am a pom-pom person, so I'm going to show you how I attach my pom-poms to my hat. How cute are you? Oh my gosh, it's so cute. All right, and my friends, that is the Marlowe hat and scarf. I really hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Thanks so much for joining me to make the Marlowe hat and scarf. I totally adore this pattern and I really hope you enjoy it too. Now, if you're interested in the hook and scissors I used in this video, check out the giveaway I just posted on Instagram. It runs until Saturday, August 21st, 2021. And before we go, let's thank our Cup of Caffeine sponsor, Michael. When donating, Michael simply said, "You're my hero." Now, I've always seen crocheting as my superpower, so I will gladly accept this title, honey. Thank you so much for the donation. Now, if you enjoy my videos and want to support my channel, buy me a coffee. Who knows, I might shout you out in one of my videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.